Hi everybody, this is Jonathan and Angela Scott, the Big Cat People, talking to you from our home here in Nairobi, Kenya. It's the Sunday, I think it's the 3rd of December, it might even be the 4th, no, tomorrow's the 4th. People will be going back to work, and of course we're celebrating a new year, 2021. Full of optimism, full of thoughts that, hey, however bad 2020 was, we're going to see opportunity. We're going to think about ways that we can capitalize on making for a better year, for a better planet, and our management of it. Now, this is the 4th in the series that we call The World as We See It, from where we're standing here. Number 4, and it gives a glimpse into the life that we live, the world that we find ourselves in. And of course, it's now last year, March, we found ourselves in lockdown. We were due to go on safari to Tanzania, to our beloved Serengeti, the big brother of the Maasai Mara, and suddenly the COVID-19 pandemic became everybody's reality. And so we've hunkered down here at home in Nairobi, and not a bad place at all to be stuck at home, because we've got a beautiful home, beautiful garden, and glorious birds. The sound of bird song each morning, the dawn chorus, just makes us feel glad to be alive. Now, that isn't the same for everybody. Not everybody is as fortunate as us. And of course, for many Kenyans, it's been a very, very, very tough time, just simply trying to make ends meet. Many people have lost their job because tourism here in Kenya is a massive industry, employing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the service industry, something that Kenyans are fantastic at. Anybody who comes on safari to Kenya will not only see wonderful wildlife and incredible landscape, but it's going to go home raving about the experience and how friendly and nice and warm the people were. So suddenly we find ourselves in a new year, 3rd of January 2021. Tomorrow everybody will be getting back to work. But since March last year, so 9-10 months ago, we have been at home here in Nairobi. But I can promise you one thing, we've stayed busy. And I think one of the things that we've learned is that having a routine, being disciplined, following a pattern, giving your life structure, and finding a sense of purpose is essential. And of course, what is that purpose going to be? For us, at the moment, it's about sacred nature. The title of our first book, 2016, Sacred Nature, Life's Eternal Dance. Angie's dream, created beautifully in design by our son David. And now, Sacred Nature 2, reconnecting people to our planet, which in tandem with the first volume, Sacred Nature, Life's Eternal Dance, is the backbone. It's the flagship for what we call the Sacred Nature Initiative. And very shortly, so beginning of February, I think it's the 2nd of February, we'll be launching a Kickstarter campaign to ensure that we can publish Volume 2, Sacred Nature 2, reconnecting people to our planet, to the very highest production standards, the best paper, printed in the best printing factory, printing area. Over, or let's say, nearly 300 pages, 186 pictures, 60 of them black and white, Angie's 40, and the first volume of Sacred Nature won gold in the Independent Publishers Awards in 2017. But Kenya, tourism, this has been such a struggle for people here because tourism suddenly dried up. And tourism means revenue for conservation. So places like the Maasai Mara, and of course not just Kenya, the Galapagos Islands, Madagascar, other places with, wonderful biodiversity, plenty of species and variety and abundance, suddenly found that the backbone of their conservation programs, tourism, just fell through the floor. And so we are asking everybody to play a part, the international community, to acknowledge these wonderful places where biodiversity is still in an ascendancy, if you could call it that, or still certainly very visible, that we all get behind and rally behind efforts to meet the shortfall, which has been left by a loss in tourism. Of course, we have to start thinking about new models for conservation. If tourism isn't always going to be reliable, and we know it isn't, whether it's the Gulf War, whether it was 9/11, tourism can suddenly fall flat on its face. And in countries like Kenya, countries where there is this wonderful biodiversity still, often simply trying to meet the needs of the population is the toughest challenge. But two things, we're all in this together and everything is connected. All of life. People tend to feel that we're in control of the planet, that we're managing the planet. Well, if we are, we're doing a lousy job of it. Whether it's climate change, whether it's pandemics, whether it's melting glaciers, forest fires raging, this tremendous loss of species of biodiversity, mass extinction. We call this the Anthropocene, the era of man and his impact. We have to stop. And if there's nothing else that you do when you've listened to this, stop and think, what can I do to play my part in creating a better future for the planet? How can I start at home? Everybody's got a sacred nature. A cat, a dog, a life force, a potted plant, a patio, a little vegetable garden. My uncles used to have lived in the centre of London, Camden Town. They loved growing fresh vegetables, flowers. So they had a little allotment owned by the city council, but which they could hire out and rent. People were queuing up for the opportunity to do that. We have to find ways to nurture that connection to nature. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, the good is that we're into a new year, and it just, whether it's artificial or not, a sense of a new kind of optimism. And what I would say particularly to young people, look, I have had the life of Riley. I had my dream of doing something with wildlife. I left my home in England, travelled overland through Africa, saw the Mara and Serengeti in a Bedford truck that we were travelling, two of them, camped out under the stars in the Sahara, saw the wonder of the big cats in East Africa and carried on to South Africa. But the fact was, I had a dream. I thought to myself, I want to try to achieve this. So for you young people, don't think because of COVID that your dreams are over, that you couldn't do what I did, if that's what you would love to do something with wildlife, to be a wildlife artist, a photographer. Okay, it could be a struggle. Your mum and dad will worry themselves sick. Are you going to make enough money? Why aren't you going to be a lawyer, a doctor, an architect? Well, because that's not your bliss. That's not what you dreamed of. So what I would say is keep your dream alive. It's your dream. And remember that it's up to you to make your life happen. Don't wait for the phone to ring. Just like with us, with television in the old days, BBC, Animal Planet, are they going to ring and say, Johnny, Angie, there's a new TV show? Well, fortunately, we've been lucky. And there has been, right up to this point now. Big Cat Tales, Season 2, Animal Planet Discovery. Wonders of the Mara Serengeti and the big cats with our great friend Jackson Lucia. It's still all happening out there. Don't despair. If you're having a lousy day, just stop for a minute and think how fortunate you are. That could be difficult. You've got a pain in your leg, you've got sciatica, you've got cataracts, you need a knee replacement, yes. Just stop for a minute and think it could be worse. There's somebody struggling, putting a brave face on it, in a situation in which I'm feeling sorry for myself. Pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and New Year's resolution, stick at it. Make a plan, stick to it, be self-disciplined, and dream of a safari. So I think I've probably talked myself out of a job here. But anyway, Happy New Year. Keep tuning into our YouTube series. And remember, Sacred Nature Initiative, Sacred Nature 2, our latest book, going to be out in June this year now. Kickstarter campaign coming in February for Sacred Nature 2, reconnecting people to our planet. We need your support, and we believe that together we can make a difference. Remember, sacred nature. Think about it. It's our world, the beauty, the wonder of our world. All you have to do is to stop, look, and listen, and pray for a moment of calm, like we have today, on this wonderful Sunday in Nairobi. Take care, everybody. Lots of love from the big cat people. Bye-bye.